Let me tell you a story. You see, this news of the elites eating mermaids is not new news. In fact, they have been doing this for quite some time. I'm under the speculation that our world used to be underwater before we were out of water. You see, our brain and our bodies are 80% water, which means that our ancestry comes from the water. Now, I have a theory that the flood story that we know is in reverse, and that originally our genetics comes from the water. And up until the flood, our world was entirely underwater up until the flood, where that water was moved. You see, these mountains that have skeletons of fish and aquatic life on top of the mountains should paint a picture that our world was all water before it wasn't. And we also have to note too that the water damage in the Grand Canyons and in other places shows that it had to have been more than 30 or 40 days that the world was underwater, when in fact I believe our world has always been underwater up until a certain point. And I wanted to share something with you guys, right, of this process called IVG that they're trying to push mainstream and that they say that they are developing. But we all know that if science, if politics, if the government says that they're developing something, chances are it's already been developed. Basically, they are converting cells from the body, such as skin or blood cells, into stem cells. These stem cells are then guided to develop into sperm or eggs through a series of chemical and hormonal cues, right? So basically, they have found a way to produce sperm and egg cells of the artificial kind. These are not organic beings, right? This all ties with them eating mermaids, because technically the mermaids and us are very genetically similar, because like I said, our genetics came from the water. And so mermaids, in a sense, could be people who did not take to the land, that they stayed in their original state as being aquatic creatures. This could be why we're not allowed to interact with dolphins in the wild. This could be because the dolphins could awaken, right, our past ancestry within our genetics, because we are the source code as far as black people and Spanish, etc. We hold those genetic genes of the past. And I think dolphins and other marine life animals that are smart will probably remember our past lives and could potentially reawaken our spirit that was once one with the water. And so, thus, eating mermaids essentially is them eating black people, because I believe those genetic codes are fairly similar. A lot of these people that we see are not mankind, are not people. You see, they are these lab grown sperm and egg cells that have hatched from these orphan trains and from the Holocaust, where they used these tragic events in order to get an emotional reaction out of you, in order to place such hybrids in our world that we live with today. And so I believe that they are using this type of technology in order to copy these humans to live amongst us. And so, just like how a lot of missing, kidnapped kids that go missing, that some of us presume are underground or in these under cave connections, right? there is technology in the water. If they are fishing and mapping out mermaids out of the water, then chances are these missing people are also associated with the water as well. So it could also be underwater bases that these potential kidnapped kids could be potentially going. You would never be able to find them once they hit the water. But I want to take it a step further, because now, if you ever heard of the reptilian celebrity theory, where a lot of your celebrities are indeed reptilians, you have to understand that the world in the past was all water before it was land. And so this is why our enemies are aquatic type beings, simply because the water has always been there connecting us to other worlds. We're in an age that now we can see this technology, we can see these people, we can see these celebrities being reptilian. When you have celebrities faking pregnancies, able women, they go do IVF or IVG, this is cloning technology, because a lot of the women that you're seeing aren't real women. They have to go through these IVG, IVF treatments because they are hybrid creatures who are infertile. They cannot produce children simply because they're either a male converted to a female, or their hybrid genetics have ran its course. Because they're not organic, they cannot reproduce. A lot of the celebrities you see are clones, and while their children always grow faster and are more mature at a younger age, simply because they're clones, simply because their parents are not real.